morning. What's up, YouTube? It's Castro here. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of trucking and my opinion on it. I mean, when I started, I checked out a lot of pros and cons videos. YouTube was very informative. There's a lot of people that have, really going through experiences that are very similar, to mine. But I mean, I we all have our different opinions on things, and I definitely have mine when it comes to this. So let's get right to it. First pro is the freedom of the road. Obviously, you get to go anywhere. You basically can get paid to go anywhere depending on what level of trucking you're in. And, in the beginning as a company driver, you're going to get paid to, you're basically told where you're going to go, but you're going to travel and you're going to see a lot of things you didn't see before, which is a good thing. But in the higher levels of trucking, once you get into more owner-operator situation or you go into your own kind of business, like what I decided to do, you really get a freedom of almost getting paid to go where you want to go, depending on if the rate is good for you. So that's the number one, is freedom. Now, first thing with con is that, away from home. Now, this could be a pro or a con, but to many it's a con because, you have family and, it's a con. I miss home, miss family, and but I consider this similar to the military. Most people who go to the military, they go to do a job. They go to take care of what they got to handle and handle business. And they just handle stuff in general. You know what I'm saying? They know what they're going to do. Trucking is like that too, depending on how hard you go. So, yeah, it can be a con, but when your family is there for you, that's all that matters. If they're not there for you, then you gotta make them understand why they should be there for you. Now, second pro, the money. The money of trucking is very good. It's up and down. But even as coming in a company driver, you're looking anywhere between 120 to 160, depending on which company you pick, and and in what division, because then you got dry van, tanker, flatbed, and of course what I do, reefer. Definitely reefer. That's what I do. But I started with tanker, but I'll say they all are very good in their own way, depending on which one you want to do. Now, another con is the parking. Parking can be tough sometimes. In the middle of the night after a load, you could be delayed at a shipper, or delayed somewhere, or traffic, or an accident, and you have no parking. And that could be a con. When it comes to parking, I really believe in reserve parking. When I was with Schneider, they would cover that. If I reserved it, they would cover I would pay for it, and they would reimburse me. But now that I have my own truck and my own company, I always reserve. Because of that history with Schneider, which I'll get into another video, I've learned to reserve, because when you pre-trip and plan everything, parking has to be as critical as everything else. So you gotta have your spot ready. You don't drive 8 to 11 hours and not know where you're gonna park. That's why you look ahead, you plan, and you adjust, and then you you reserve the spot, and then you're good. So that can be a con as well. Number 4, another pro is the socializing aspect of it. You meet a lot of people. You meet people you never thought you'd meet before. It's very funny how you sometimes you run into family, you run into friends. You can you run into country, so you really just see all types of people that you'd never meet before. And I think that's a pro. Now, another con is the shippers. Shippers and receivers can be a real headache sometimes when, delaying things, and, it can be up and down like that. Some days could be good, but overall, shippers and receivers can be really bad a lot. You're going to go through that. You'll have moments where you think like, well, is this for me? And rah, 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 and all that shit. But, you just got to fight through it. Number 5, another pro. Possibilities is a pro, because you can come in just having a CDL, and you start as a company driver, you're gonna get your experience, but then you have the option to go on an owner-operator, and you have the option of going into your own authority, and you have the option of building your own fleet, and getting dispatchers and brokers, and just the whole experience of it. There's so many outlets to trucking that it should. It's intriguing. Well, it's intriguing to me. It got me really convinced in it. So, with that being said, I just think the possibilities are endless. I'm not knocking most jobs, but if most jobs are, 9 to 5 jobs, they go in, they may start you at 40,000, and maybe if you get promoted, you get to 100,000. maybe 120 if you go get your degree and stuff like that. And I get all that, but in this, the CDL is your master's degree. And why I say that is because when you get the CDL, you're coming in the gate 120, 140. Some people got to go get their doctorate and all this other stuff to get to those levels. I'm not knocking education. I respect and appreciate education. Well, But at the same time, you got to look at other avenues of, making income, and having, different, multiple ways of income. But I think that's just one of them with trucking, where it's very hard to beat it with the CDL, because the CDL is the equivalent to me to a master's or a doctorate in some professional fields. Because when you have it, you become instantly employable. So that's a major pro. Number 6, traffic, is a con, because sometimes with traffic, cars in general, you're gonna get cut off. People are gonna shut you off. People are gonna be very disrespectful sometimes. They're not gonna wait for you. They're gonna honk. They're gonna try to get around you. So it is a con sometimes with traffic, but that goes back to your mentality. You gotta have a patient mentality driving these big machines. And you got to know when you get into this that this is about patience and, certain things that you have to understand on a higher level. So, and then number 7, another pro is the helping people out. You're really helping the country in a lot of ways, I do reefer, and I'm always delivering, chicken, ice cream, and, some places are very grateful that when they see you, they're like, wow, thank you for, doing this and stuff like that. And you get a different kind of, respect from certain people that understand how hard you work and what we're doing, because this service, remember, everything in your house, in your job, your friends, your clothes, your cars, everything comes on a truck. Hands down. It's a truck that brought it there. So with that being said, it should be more respected, right? And that's the truth of it. So it's just, that's a good thing, just, helping people out and people appreciate it. Number 7 is a con, the fatigue of it, the mental and exhausting fatigue of it. It can be very exhausting mentally and physically. I'm not going to even lie about that. You have to find ways to keep yourself going. You gotta enjoy what you're doing. You gotta really enjoy the road and enjoy the idea that you're going to make this money. You gotta enjoy the fact of the big picture when you have goals. If you're goal oriented, you'll love trucking. If you're not, then you're lazy and you gotta be home and run all the crap. Stay home. Don't do this. I say don't do this. It's only it's for the mentally strong. I really think so. Another pro is the free showers. You get this gas. You get a lot of free showers. Where it's pilot, TA, loves. You get the showers. And let me tell you something. There's a myth on trucking. Don't get me wrong. You can. The only reason why I got into this, and anybody knows me. If you smell me right now, I probably smell better than, well, I'm not going to make fun of people, but I smell good all the time, and I make sure I do because I'm a very clean person. And that was one of the things that convinced me, because once I knew I had access to all these showers, and I had access to all this stuff where you put your code in and get your shower, you can stay clean, I knew I could do this. Because you just have to time your route well and know when you're going to take a shower, how you're going to take it, whether it be morning, noon, and you can work it out, and you can stay very clean on the road. I'm very clean. I smell good right now. Anyway, that's a pro. Number 8 is a con. It can get lonely depending on who you are. Some people need people all around them, and they need to be entertained and all this crap like that's very lonely. But someone like me, I'm fine. I'm fine being by myself. I have my company. Let me see my company. It's my company. Say hi, Goliath. My camera's right there, buddy. Say hi. See him? That's my company right there. You don't get, I'm not lonely. It's like guys and women that have their dogs, and that's fine. A little companion. But other than that, it's good. And not to mention, you have social media, you have friends and family, you have video. I have Xbox. I got my community of Xbox brothers. Hey, I'm good. Not for everybody, but I'm good. And you got to be mentally tough to do that. So that could be a con for some, but not for all. Another pro. The 34-hour reset, right? I think that's a good pro, because when you do a reset, you you get a break. You get you get to chill. You know, if you want to go somewhere and take an Uber somewhere, or you just want to drop the trail and take the truck, you can take a break. And 34-hour resets is a good reset as far as getting relaxed and doing what you have to do. Whatchamacallit. And then another con I have to say is the expenses of it. Now with breakdowns and stuff like that, things do happen to you out here. I'm not gonna lie about that. That part is kind of tough, but that's more on an owner-operator level. I'll get into that in other videos, right? But if you're a company driver, you just come in and you don't got to worry about that, because the company's gonna cover everything. You go down, they're gonna send people to take care. They're gonna put you in a hotel. I mean, I miss those days with Schneider. If I break down, man, they sent me the card, the numbers, they paid for my hotel, they paid for everything. I don't have to worry about nothing, It's just when you go into the owner operating and you go into your own authority, that's when you gotta really plan. But we'll talk about that later in other videos. The regulations is another con. The government regulates a lot. They're gonna be checking to see if your truck is, good. You're gonna have DOT. That can be annoying sometimes. If you're speeding, if you're acting out, you're gonna draw attention, and they will come for you. So you gotta be smart about that aspect. So not saying you're gonna get harassed. I just think that I don't get pulled over like that, but I see a lot of guys that do get pulled over because they either have no mud flap, or their load is not strapped properly, or they have a broken headlight or tail light. You need to take care of all that before you pull off, right? So that's another thing as far as it goes. And I can go on and on and on. So this is just the first video of the pros and cons. I plan on making another one. And like and subscribe. And thank you for those that have. I appreciate it. All right, say goodbye, Goliath. All right, I'll see you on the next one, y'all.